80% of drivers do these car habits that ruins their car engine. And here's the twist. You have no idea you're probably doing it too, costing you expensive car repairs. Without wasting any more time, here's the 15 car habits that ruins your car engine and waste your money. Watch till the end for a tip that'll guarantee you in saving thousands in repairs. Let's dive in. Habit number 15, driving your car while near empty. Let me explain why. Your fuel pump uses gasoline for cooling and lubrication. When you're running on empty, that pump is working overtime without proper cooling, generating excessive heat that dramatically shortens its lifespan. Plus, all the sediment, rust, and water that settles at the bottom of your tank gets sucked up when levels are critically low. Here's the fascinating part. Modern fuel pumps cost $800 to $1,000 to replace, because they're typically located inside the tank, requiring major disassembly. That adventurous habit of seeing how far you can push it could cost you more than a year's worth of gasoline. Pro tip that'll blow your mind. Keep your tank above quarter full, especially in winter when condensation creates more water contamination. Your fuel pump will last its full lifespan, your fuel stays cleaner, and you'll never be that person calling roadside assistance from a busy highway. Seriously, who gambles with thousands of dollars to save a 5-minute gas stop? You won't believe this next habit that could be destroying your engine. Habit number 14. Driving short distances without letting your engine warm up, making constant short trips under 10 minutes. You're never letting your engine reach proper operating temperature, causing oil contamination and excessive wear that's silently destroying your engine from the inside. Here's how it works. Your engine produces moisture and fuel vapors during combustion that need to be burned off through heat. Short trips never allow your engine to get hot enough to evaporate this contamination, leading to oil that turns into acidic sludge. The crazy part? This sludge clogs oil passages, damages seals, and can cause complete engine failure. Many people think city driving is easy on engines, but it's actually one of the most destructive driving patterns possible. Here's the kicker. If you must make short trips, combine errands into longer drives when possible, and change your oil more frequently, every 3,000 to 5,000 miles instead of the normal interval. Your engine needs time to cook off contaminants. Modern cars with direct injection are especially vulnerable to this because fuel can wash oil off cylinder walls during cold operation. This next habit is something you don't know you're doing. Habit number 13, resting your hand on the gear shifter. While driving, that comfortable habit of keeping your hand on the gear shifter while cruising, you're applying constant pressure to delicate transmission components that were never designed to handle sideways force, slowly destroying your shift forks and synchronizers. Let me tell you why this is expensive. Even light hand pressure creates wear on shift forks, which are precision components that guide gears into engagement. This seemingly innocent habit can cause hard shifting, gear grinding, and premature transmission failure. Here's something you probably don't know. Manual transmissions are designed for quick, decisive shifts, not constant contact. Your hands' weight, combined with road vibrations, creates micro movements that wear internal components. Automatic shifters suffer similar damage to their linkages and cables. But here's the pro tip. Keep both hands on the steering wheel unless actively shifting. Use the center console or armrest for hand placement. Your transmission will last its full lifespan and you'll have better vehicle control. Trust me, explaining to your mechanic why your transmission is grinding at 60,000 miles gets expensive when they ask about your driving position. This next one would definitely shock you. Habit number 12, using your parking brake as an emergency brake. Most people only touch their parking brake when parking on hills, but ignoring it during regular parking is actually damaging your transmission and costing you thousands in premature wear. Let me show you how this works. When you park without using the parking brake, your entire car's weight rests on a tiny metal pawl inside your transmission. This small component wasn't designed to hold thousands of pounds indefinitely, especially on inclines. Here's the shocking part. Over time, this constant stress can damage the parking pawl, cause hard shifting out of park, or even complete failure, where your car won't stay in park. Parking brake cables, on the other hand, are designed specifically for holding your vehicle stationary. But here's what most people don't know. Always engage the parking brake before shifting to park. especially on any incline. This takes the load off your transmission and transfers it to your rear brakes where it belongs. Trust me, explaining to your spouse why the car rolled into the neighbor's fence gets expensive fast. You'll be surprised by this next one. Habit number 11. Accelerating hard immediately after starting your car, running late and flooring it within seconds of starting your engine. You're forcing cold oil through tight tolerances and asking components to perform at maximum stress before they're ready, causing permanent damage with every rushed morning. Here's how you can solve it. Your engine oil needs time to circulate and reach proper operating temperature. Hard acceleration on a cold engine forces thick, cold oil through narrow passages, while metal components haven't expanded to their proper clearances yet. Let me tell you the solution. Even 30 seconds of idle time followed by gentle acceleration for the first mile makes a massive difference. Your engine's internal components are precision machined to work within specific tolerances that only exist at operating temperature. Here's a pro tip that'll blow your mind. Modern fuel injection means you don't need extended warm-up like old, carbureted cars. But immediate hard acceleration is still engine destroying. Drive gently until your temperature gauge starts moving, usually 2 to 3 minutes. Seriously, who rushes their most expensive possession through its most vulnerable moments? You won't believe what the next habit could do. Habit number 10, flooring it. From every red light, jackrabbit starts might make you feel like a race car driver, but they're turning your engine into an expensive paperweight and your wallet into a crying emoji. Here's how you can solve it. Aggressive acceleration forces your engine to work at maximum stress levels when it's still warming up, burns excessive fuel, and puts tremendous strain on your transmission, drivetrain, and engine internals. It's like asking your heart to sprint immediately after waking up from surgery. Let me tell you the solution. Smooth, gradual acceleration isn't just more fuel efficient. It's dramatically easier on every component in your drivetrain. You'll get better fuel economy, reduce wear, and still reach the speed limit just a few seconds later. Here's a pro tip that'll blow your mind. Most modern cars have more than enough power for normal driving with just 25% throttle input. Save the full throttle for emergencies or highway merging. Plus, you won't be that person revving next to teenagers in Honda Civics at traffic lights. If you made it here, hit that like button. We've got 9 more car tips that could save you a lot of money in repairs, and you won't want to miss the number 1 habit that wastes your money. Trust me, this next one would 100% surprise you. Habit number 9, neglecting your air filter. That dirty air filter you've been ignoring for 30,000 miles. It's choking your engine worse than a python with trust issues and costing you hundreds in wasted fuel. Here's the trick. Your engine needs a precise air-to-fuel ratio to run efficiently. A clogged air filter restricts airflow like trying to breathe through a pillow, forcing your engine to work harder and consume more fuel to maintain power. Let me tell you why this matters. A dirty air filter can reduce fuel economy by up to 10% and rob your engine of significant power. That's like paying $4.50 per gallon when gas costs $4 every single time you fill up. Here's something you probably don't know. Air filters are incredibly cheap, usually $15 to $30, and take 2 minutes to replace. Most are held in with simple clips or screws. Check it every oil change and replace it when it looks dirty. Would you run a marathon while breathing through a dirty sock? Neither should your engine. You'll definitely be shocked by this next one. Habit number 8, lugging your engine in high gear. Driving in high gear at low speeds might seem fuel efficient, but you're actually forcing your engine to work like a bodybuilder trying to lift weights in slow motion. Let me explain why this destroys engines. Lugging occurs when you try to accelerate or climb hills in too high a gear, forcing your engine to work at low RPMs under high load. This creates carbon knock, incomplete combustion, and excessive cylinder pressure that can crack pistons and damage bearings. Here's the kicker. Your engine has a power band where it operates most efficiently. Forcing it to work outside this range is like asking a marathon runner to sprint while carrying a refrigerator. Manual transmission drivers are especially guilty of this trying to save fuel. But here's the pro tip. Don't be afraid to downshift. Don't be afraid to downshift. Your engine is designed to rev. Modern engines can safely operate at 3,000, 4,000 RPM all day long. If you're pressing the gas pedal more than halfway and the car isn't accelerating smoothly, downshift immediately. Seriously, Who taught people that engines were meant to struggle? This next tip is so useful, it'll save you time and money. Habit number 7. Driving with underinflated tires. Those slightly soft tires aren't just hurting your fuel economy. They're creating dangerous heat buildup that can cause catastrophic blowouts and destroying your engine's efficiency. Here's how this works. Underinflated tires create more rolling resistance, forcing your engine to work harder to maintain speed. It's like trying to ride a bicycle with flat tires. Everything becomes more difficult and inefficient. Here's the fascinating part. Just 5 psi under the recommended pressure can reduce fuel economy by 2 to 3% and cause irregular tire wear that shortens tire life by thousands of miles. We're talking about $600 tires that could last 60,000 miles dying at 30,000 miles. Here's one that'll blow your mind. Check your tire pressure monthly when tires are cold, preferably before driving. The recommended pressure is on a sticker inside your driver's door, not on the tire sidewall. Plus, you won't be the person changing a tire on the side of the freeway because you ignored basic maintenance. Here's the shocking part about this next secret. Habit number 6. Revving your engine before shutting it off. That final dramatic rev before turning off your engine isn't giving it a proper send-off. You're coating your cylinders with raw fuel and potentially damaging components. Let me tell you the solution. When you rev before shutdown, unburned fuel washes oil off cylinder walls and can contaminate your engine oil. Plus, you're spinning components at high speed without proper oil pressure during the shutdown sequence. Here's the secret mechanics don't want you to know. Modern engines are designed to shut down cleanly at idle. That final rev is completely unnecessary and potentially harmful. Your engine doesn't need a dramatic farewell. It needs a gentle goodnight. Here's what you need to do. Simply let your engine idle for 10-15 seconds after hard driving to let temperatures stabilize, then turn it off normally. No revving, no drama, just a clean shutdown. Good luck finding a modern car that benefits from pre-shutdown revving. This next one would shock you. Habit number 5. Riding the clutch like it's a comfortable footrest. Manual transmission drivers who rest their foot on the clutch pedal are slowly destroying one of their car's most expensive components without even realizing it. Let me show you why this is expensive. Even light pressure on the clutch pedal partially disengages the clutch, causing the friction material to slip and generate heat. This premature wear can reduce clutch life from 100,000 miles to 30,000 miles. Clutch replacement typically costs $1,500 to $3,000 because it requires removing the transmission. That comfortable foot position is costing you about 3 cents per mile in premature wear. But here's what most people don't know. Keep your left foot completely off the clutch pedal unless you're actively shifting. Use the dead pedal, that footrest, to the left, or simply rest your foot on the floor. Trust me, explaining to your mechanic why your clutch died at 40,000 miles gets awkward when they ask about your driving habits. This next one is costing you thousands in repairs without you knowing. Habit number 4. Using your car as a mobile storage unit. That trunk full of junk, backseat loaded with stuff you might need someday, and floor mats covered in random items. You're turning your car into a fuel-guzzling moving van. Here's how you can solve it. Every 100 pounds of extra weight reduces fuel economy by approximately 2%. That collection of old textbooks, emergency supplies you never use, and random equipment is costing you money every mile you drive. Let me tell you why this matters. Extra weight also increases wear on your suspension, brakes, and tires. Your engine has to work harder to accelerate, and your brakes work harder to stop. It's like asking a person to run a marathon while wearing a backpack full of rocks. Here's the solution. Clean out your car monthly. Keep only essentials. Spare tire, basic tools, emergency kit, and maybe one change of clothes. Everything else is just expensive dead weight. Seriously, who needs 3 umbrellas and a camping chair from 2019? Trust me, this next one will shock you. Habit number 3, downshifting to slow down. Instead of using your brakes, engine braking might sound cool and feel sporty, but excessive downshifting to slow down is putting unnecessary wear on your transmission and clutch while barely saving your brake pads. Here's the trick. While gentle engine braking is fine, Aggressive downshifting forces your transmission to handle deceleration loads it wasn't primarily designed for. Your brakes are specifically engineered to convert momentum into heat and can be replaced easily and cheaply. Let me explain why this is backwards. Brake pads cost $150 to $300 to replace. Transmission or clutch repairs cost $1,500, $4,000. You're trying to save the cheap, easily replaceable component by wearing out the expensive, complex one. But here's the pro tip. Use your brakes for normal stopping. That's what they're for. Save engine braking for long downhill grades where brake overheating is a concern, or gentle speed reduction in normal driving. Good luck explaining to your wallet why you destroyed a transmission to save $200 brake pads. Here's what most people don't realize. When you downshift aggressively, you're forcing your transmission's synchronizers to match gear speeds under load, creating excessive heat and friction. These precision components weren't designed for constant deceleration duty. They're meant for smooth gear changes during acceleration. The crazy part: manual transmissions suffer the most damage because aggressive downshifting without proper rev matching puts enormous stress on the clutch disc and pressure plate. Every time you force a gear change without matching engine speed, you're essentially asking your clutch to absorb the speed difference through slippage and heat. Here's something that'll shock you. Even automatics aren't immune. Using manual mode or low gears to engine brake puts extra strain on transmission bands, clutches, and valve bodies. Modern automatics have sophisticated programming to protect themselves, but forcing them into lower gears repeatedly can override these safety measures and cause premature failure. Wait until you hear about this next one. Habit number 2, ignoring warning lights like they're just suggestions. That check engine light, oil pressure warning, or temperature gauge climbing into the red. Ignoring them isn't being tough. It's being financially reckless on an epic scale. Here's how this works. Modern cars have sophisticated monitoring systems that detect problems before they become catastrophic failures. That little light is your engine's way of screaming, "Help me," before it starts destroying itself. Here's something you probably don't know. A simple oxygen sensor failure that triggers a check engine light costs $200 to fix. Ignore it, and it can damage your catalytic converter. That's a $2,000 repair. An oil pressure light might indicate a $50 sensor problem, but if it's real low pressure, continuing to drive will destroy your entire engine. Here's the kicker. Get warning lights diagnosed immediately. Even if it's just a loose gas cap, knowing for sure costs less than gambling with your engine's life. Don't be the person who turns up the radio to drown out the sound of expensive problems getting worse. Here's the terrifying reality. Warning lights often indicate problems that are progressing rapidly. What mechanics call cascade failures. A simple coolant leak warning ignored for a week can lead to overheating, which warps cylinder heads, blows head gaskets, and can crack engine blocks. We're talking about a $50 hose replacement becoming an $8,000 engine rebuild. But here's what really gets expensive. Modern engines have dozens of sensors monitoring everything from knock detection to exhaust gas temperatures. When one system fails, it often triggers a domino effect where other components work overtime to compensate, leading to multiple system failures that happen almost simultaneously. Here's something that'll blow your mind. Some warning lights indicate problems that can destroy your engine in minutes, not days. An oil pressure light means you could have zero lubrication reaching critical components. Continuing to drive even a few blocks can cause bearing seizure, connecting rod failure, and complete engine destruction that insurance won't cover because you ignored the warning. Now for the habit that's destroying your engine and draining your wallet. Habit number 1, mixing different types of engine oil. Topping off your conventional oil with synthetic, or mixing different viscosities because it's all just oil, right? You're creating a chemical cocktail that can actually harm your engine. Let me tell you why this is dangerous. Different oil formulations have different additive packages that can interact unpredictably. Conventional and synthetic oils have different molecular structures, and mixing them can reduce the effectiveness of both. Here's the fascinating part. Oil viscosity is precisely engineered for your engine's tolerances. Mixing 5W30 with 10W40 creates an unknown viscosity that might not protect your engine properly at temperature extremes. Your engine's clearances are measured in thousandths of an inch. Precision matters. But here's what most people don't know. If you must add oil in an emergency, use the exact same type and viscosity as what's already in your engine. Better yet, carry a quart of the correct oil in your trunk. Don't turn your oil pan into a chemistry experiment. The results could cost you an entire engine rebuild. Here's the scary science behind it. When you mix different oil types, their additive packages can actually neutralize each other or form deposits that clog oil passages. Detergents from one oil might react with dispersants from another, creating sludge that's worse than having dirty oil in the first place. Your engine's oil pump wasn't designed to circulate this chemical soup. The crazy part? Modern engines run incredibly hot, often exceeding 220 Fahrenheit in normal operation. Mixed oils can break down unpredictably at these temperatures, losing their protective properties when your engine needs them most. What starts as trying to save $30 on a proper oil change can end with oil starvation that destroys bearings and pistons in minutes. There you have it. Which one surprised you and which one you know already? Let me know in the comments. Talking about car tips, there are actually driving hacks that mechanics hides from you, which saves you money on car repairs. Click this video to save money.